What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I want to go ahead and give you guys a garage update of everything that's been going on and kind of go over the direction I want to go in the future with this channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So obviously we have 2007 GT500. This car is not going anywhere. It's good to go. And I wanted to give you guys a few updates, and then we'll go ahead and get to the truck, and that'll pretty much be that. So I wanted to follow up. The low vacuum bypass did fix my boost issues, making about 19.5 pounds on the 2.6 pulley. I really do want to get a 60 to 130 time. However, it's super cold outside, winter, it's pretty gross, and I'm not going to get traction right now. And also there's some safety concerns with that. So we're getting pretty quick, and I really prefer to keep this thing on the track. It's just, to me, it's not worth the risk of finding an open road, sending it, and either possibly essentially going to jail or having something else happen safety-wise that strands me 30 minutes from here, because that's where one of the open roads is at. So it's going to be a bit before we get a 60 to 130 time, and next year I definitely plan on, or this year I guess, later this year when the tracks open up, definitely plan on taking it back out and doing some stuff there. If you guys remember in one of my videos, I was complaining about a high-speed vibration that was driving me crazy. At the top end of the track and 6130s, so around 130 miles an hour, it gets a really nasty, like the whole car vibrated. And I think I finally figured out where it was, and believe it or not, it turned out to be rust buildup between the rotors and the axles. So when I did the rear end way back in Florida, if you guys remember, I had the rotors off for a while, and I think that's what started it. And essentially, I jacked the car up, and when I was running, I spun the wheel, and I could actually see the whole wheel wobbling just a little bit. So I took all of it off, cleaned everything, put it back together, and now it runs straight and true. I took my dial indicator and made sure, and both sides are good. I did the fronts, and it rides significantly smoother now for obvious reasons. My wheel's not moving just ever so slightly. So it wasn't like gonna fall off, but it was a very uncomfortable sensation going at a higher speed. So that seems to be good to go now. And other than that, I mean, the car's set. We do have some transmission stuff to take care of, but that's going to be a little bit later in the year, and I will get back with you guys in a minute as to why. So that's everything with the car right now. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about the truck a little bit. So it is out there, and obviously you can see it behind me. I'm not going to go outside because it is super, super windy today, and it's absolutely gross, and it messed up all the audio, so I'm actually doing another take on this one. So as you guys know, I've been chasing a vibration with the truck that's been driving me nuts. It all started essentially when I put the semi wheels on, and the semi wheel tires we found out were out of round. Trash, got rid of that setup. Just all in general, it's just too much work to try and maintain, very expensive, and I was not a fan of it. So we went ahead and went with these set of wheels and tires, and I still have had a vibration ever since. It's been a lot smoother, but it's still kind of been there, and over several hundred miles, if you have to do a long trip, it gets pretty old. It's not fun, not comfortable to ride in. So I did all the front end stuff as best I could, and I mean, it was still there. I recently did a trip that was about 800 mile round trip, and yeah, it was still vibrating. Before I left, I put on Bilstein front shocks. I don't think I mentioned that yet. So I knew it had a good set in the front, and I didn't really notice it. However, on that trip, I did start to really pay attention, because I had a long time to really feel it, where that vibration was coming from, and I really didn't notice it through the steering wheel. It was mostly through the seat and the rear end. So I haven't paid much attention to the rear end the whole time. A while back, I checked my bearings and everything and found one side was just a touch loose on the passenger side. So I tightened it up a little bit, didn't make a video on it. There was no point, it was pretty simple. And then that was pretty much it. Everything else has been the way it is. So I put new shocks on the rear just recently. I couldn't find the set of Bilsteins or the part number that goes to the rear, but I want to put on I think it was a set of Gabriel, or like their Max Control series. And they're pretty sweet shock, they feel pretty nice. And I immediately noticed an improvement with that. I also lowered my tire pressure down to 40 PSI in the rear, because when it's empty, that's 4 tires essentially supporting no weight back there. That whole back half is probably like under 1,000 pounds, probably 500 pounds if I had to guess. So that's a lot of weight, and it leaves a lot of room for that axle to jump around with such high tire pressure, so I lowered it a bit. And that smoothed out things. Plus the shocks, it's actually riding pretty good now. So on the note of shocks, what I think happened, and when I took them off, I found that my Monroe shocks were definitely blown out completely. Just taking them off and trying to compress them by hand, there were dead spots almost. Like you could compress it real quick and then it would like slow down. Not at all how it's supposed to be, and it sounded pretty gross in there. And I'm positive that even though they had low mileage, I think the semi wheels is what ate them up. Just constantly bouncing around, it couldn't handle it. So the truck's that's really it for the truck. It's been a daily driver for me, and I really do drive it every day, and that's really about it. I have it listed on the market right now for sale. I'm asking $17,500. However, I'm not super sure if I actually want to sell it or not. I'm just kind of out there if that's my price if someone wants it. But I'm back and forth because I don't know if I'm going to need to tow heavy again or if I'm going to get another big trailer again. So I have it listed, but I haven't really decided if I actually want to actually sell it. So we'll see. I also think the market's coming back down on that end, so I'm probably not going to get anywhere near what I have into it at this point. So that's another reason where I'm just, at this point, I'll just enjoy it because I got it. But if we do want to downsizing, I'm thinking F-150. I don't really care if it has the 5.4, the 5.0, or the 3.5 motor. If we did want to downsizing, probably just go to a normal open flat top car trailer. And not because this car is fast enough to need a trailer, but for reliability, and I would really enjoy to go see some of my friends that are on the coast and go racing with them. And I'm not driving that car all the way out there. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that. So that's kind of your update on the truck and where things are at with that. And yeah, that leaves the future of the channel. So what do I want to do? I'm at a point where I've sort of run out of, I would say, gimme content. I was low on content last year. There's just not much going on. I have grown, I feel like, in terms of where I want to be in life and what I want to do. And it just doesn't make sense to continuously dump money into vehicles when I have other things to do. So a lot of last year, I think a good bit of it, I was redoing the house that I'm in. I haven't showed you guys the house. It's not really something I was sure if I wanted to put on camera or not. And I'm also new at a lot of this stuff. So much like with the car content and whatnot, it's just me figuring it out. So the reason I'm talking about the house is because I think that is going to be where I want to take this channel. I'm going to keep the GT500 for obvious reasons. I'm going to still keep the racing content and everything. But where videos are spaced out super far, they're not going to be much closer together because house projects are huge. And I don't like doing itty bitty, I put on a piece of tile today, tomorrow here's the next piece of tile. I like to do whole pieces, whole projects. So, or break it down into stages. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I don't have that many returning subscribers that really watch this channel. I think there's a few of you guys, and I greatly appreciate it, but for the most part. So if you are someone that's following and you're like, why the heck is he coming out with a video on the house? You've never done this, I don't really care. That's why. I would like to get more content out there, and I enjoy making videos. I just need a subject to make them on. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And that's going to lead me into what my plan for the next video is. So like I said, car stuff, still going to be there. I still am going to do track stuff. It's just not a priority anymore. Same with the truck. The truck's good to go. And if I do mods down the future, there's a few things I might do, a few upgrades or as the truck needs it. But I've gotten it to a point where it doesn't need weekly updates or bi-weekly work because it's good now. It really is. So that's pretty much that. Let me go ahead and go into my plan for the future and where I'm going with this next project. All right, so my plan for the next bit here, I'm gonna continue working on my house. So there's obviously garage stuff that can be done. I like to add lighting and do some stuff in here, but my next focus, and the next video kind of give you a rundown of before and after of where the house is at. And what I want to do next is my kitchen. So I do not obviously have all the money in the world to blow on a kitchen. However, I do think I have a pretty solid plan of how I'm going to redo everything, reuse stuff here and there, and kind of make it a lot nicer. So my plan is basically to do some house projects and actually put them on YouTube. So the first project that's probably going to be next video is going to be doing some recessed lighting install. I went ahead and got these very thin recessed lights. And I'm going to go over everything, but because we're in the kitchen, I'm going to be showing you guys pretty much the whole process of how we do it. Wiring, I've done my research, done everything I can think of. Dimmer switches, three-way switches. So it's going to be going into the wiring aspect, which is definitely something a little new for me. However, I'm not inexperienced and I have done a good amount of research on how to do it properly and not blow myself up or burn the house down. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan for these next couple of videos. I'm going to be doing the kitchen. I have a couple of stages I want to do it in. I'm going to do lighting, cabinet refinishing, countertops, flooring and tiling, which I have a decent amount of experience in at this point, and some stuff like that. So if that's not your cup of tea, don't worry about it. I'm not going to be butthurt if you guys aren't watching the videos. However, I think it'll expand my audience into something else. And that also kind of brought me to a point where the YouTube channel name, I really think in this day and age, does not matter that much. I don't plan on changing it, but in the back of my head, I do think it would be a good idea if it did ever wind up growing anymore to find something that was a little bit more inclusive of everything that I want to do. So if you guys have any suggestions down below, I'm open to hearing them. Who knows, maybe we'll pick one, I don't know. But that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's been going on, where I've been, why there's been no videos recently, and kind of like what I'm planning for the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to stick around and see what's coming, by all means, and if not, it is what it is. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate all of my subscribers that continue to come back and watch. We're almost at 4,000. And if you guys need anything or whatever, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.